Winter storm warnings are now in effect for our area. How much will we see? I'll have all the details on what could be Winter Storm 2010. That's coming up next. And just how well did the students of Troy University know their Groundhog Day? I went around campus to find out. It was a dry day today across the Troy area, but all that is about to change with this incoming system that could bring us 2 days of solid rain. I'll have all the details coming up next. And it is with the funds raised by the Friendraiser program that Troy University Public Radio hopes to continue to bring its well-known programming to the area.
And now Sporman joins us with a look at weather. Sean, all I have to say is snow!
I know, I keep hearing this rumor that there may be a winter advisory.
Well, rumor is about to become fact, Brittany. We do have a winter advisory. In fact, that has been upgraded to a winter storm warning. This could be the potential for a historic snow here in southeast Alabama.
Well,
I'll get right to it. Yes, it is exciting, definitely. Let's take a look outside across the campus of Troy University. And right now, the excitement is building right now, but right now we haven't gotten there just quite yet. We take a look now across an exclusive view that you can only see here on Troy Trojan Vision, showing you that we have a mix of sun and clouds out there. It looks calm, but it also looks cold. Very appropriate indeed. Let's take a look at the current conditions right now. 40 degrees already, and that temperature is just going to go down in a hurry. Winds out of the north at 6 miles an hour, adding a little bit of a wind chill factor in our area, with humidity coming in at 37%, but the moisture will be increasing across our area. So far, we've gotten up to a high of 45 with a low temperature of 32 early this morning, and that high temperature is going to be a lot lower tomorrow, being suppressed partly by cold air and partly by the snowfall that is expected to begin. Now, across the state right now, temperatures have not dropped in the 30s yet, but we have temperatures in the 40s. And actually, even though it is in the 40s, we already have a report of ice pellets and sleet in Mobile. Otherwise, it's mostly cloudy to partly cloudy across the state right now. Now, here's a summary of what you can expect, and I'll go into more detail here in just a few moments. We do have a winter storm warning in effect from midnight tonight until 6 p.m. the next day. Most places in the warning area will be expecting 3 to 5 inches of accumulating snow. Again, that will begin late after midnight. Some areas could see even more snow than that, and as we reported earlier, all Troy University campuses in the state of Alabama are closed tomorrow. Now let's get down to the details. Right now, this is part of the advanced line of precipitation that we are expecting in our area that could change into snow. And if you take a look out toward the west, it has already begun to change over to snow in parts of northern Louisiana. Shreveport reporting heavy snow right now, southern Arkansas, and you can see that colder temperatures are causing a little bit of a wintry mix in some spots of southern Louisiana and again in Mobile where sleet is being reported. And we don't expect the precipitation to really begin in earnest in our area until after midnight, and especially after 3 p.m. for southeastern Alabama, 3 a.m., excuse me. But again, we will see that change over pretty much all to snow as the moisture brings down the temperatures and the cold air from overnight comes into play. And you can see right now we're in the 40s, but those will drop into the 30s and 20s as we'll be seeing later on. And you can again see that here. Tonight's lows will be in the 20s statewide, even down to the coast in Florida it will be down in the 20s with this precipitation coming in. And some places may only make it up to the teens for the lows tonight. Now, all the area is under a winter storm warning in the counties shaded in purple. That includes Troy, Montgomery, Birmingham, areas around like Selma. Even down in Dothan, they are under a winter storm warning for anticipated heavy snow. A winter storm warning means that heavy, severe snow could cause significant travel problems and accumulate in our area. It's really, aside from the wind, it's pretty much equivalent of a blizzard warning. Now, again, we're not going to expect a blizzard here because the wind will not play that significant of a factor. These counties up here to the north where they're expecting less snow, they're merely under a winter weather advisory. The setup remains the same as we've seen it all week. Low pressure, again, moving out from the Gulf. The low pressure that's already begun to bring some precipitation toward our west will be coming into that cold air, bringing that chance of snow becoming likely, again, very late tonight in some parts of western Alabama into the early morning hours, continuing throughout the day tomorrow. Here's the accumulation map as we expect it. These totals have been rising as the moisture looks to become more abundant in our area. And again, we're expecting that this could have the potential to be an extremely notable event in our area. And for a little historical perspective, we saw from the blizzard of 93, we saw 3.9 inches here in Troy. We had the potential to see even more for that in some parts of the area. Again, Troy is along the sweet spot area here, down through Mobile and parts like Selma and Montgomery could see 3 to 5 inches. Parts to the north like Birmingham and to the south like Dothan could see 1 to 2 inches. Now these bands aren't definite. Some places will see more and some places will see less. But it's definitely a good general idea of who will see the heaviest and lightest snowfall totals. Before tonight, that snow will be developing after the 3 a.m. hour with a low of 28. For tomorrow, that's the best time for the big event Winter storm warning will be in effect for 3 to 5 inches, possibly higher in some spots, lower in others, with a high of 32. Your Troy Trojan Vision 4-day forecast shows the excitement for that, at least, only lasts one more day. Then the sun will probably melt it all away by Saturday afternoon. Then Valentine's Day with a storm system of a different kind, all rain. Not the loveliest weather for that holiday for sure, but it's not that bad. And for President's Day on Monday, mostly cloudy skies. So Brittany and Mackenzie, it's pretty much, this situation is a snow lover's dream here in Southeast Alabama.
Well, I know you're very excited, Sean.
Definitely am.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
you.
This Sunday at 6 p.m., Trojan Vision will air an exclusive one-hour preview of Extreme Makeover Home Edition. The host of this special edition elaborate on what it was like to work alongside a major network program.
Getting to see the ABC side of things, you know, how they get their camera shots and everything from behind the scenes, and just getting to see all of the people that made the project possible.
It was just a rewarding experience. You know, it's a cliche to say it's a dream come true, but it really was a dream come true.
And what were their favorite parts of working on this project?
Actually being on site of the house and getting to see them bring in this huge staircase that they made, especially for the house. It was really cool to see, you know, the house being built, and, you know, it gets put up in a week.
My favorite part was seeing how the show was filmed and put together. There are some things that was shot, you know, maybe 2 or 3 different times. So that was just the best part to me, was getting to see how it was put together.
Viewers of this upcoming special can expect coverage from many different angles. Station manager Kyle Bozeman explains.
When people tune in to see the Extreme Makeover Home Edition preview special on Trojan Vision, what they'll see is what all went on behind the scenes in building a house and making a TV show. Thousands of people in the community have to come together to make this happen. And we're looking at all those volunteers in the community that participated and made it possible for the new home to be built for the Jordan family.
Sean Sporman, Trojan Vision News.
Now Sean Sporman joins us with a look at weather. So Sean, it has been so chilly in the mornings lately. Please tell me that it's going to warm up as we head into the weekend at least.
Unfortunately, just the opposite is what's going to happen, Amber.
Oh, no.
We're going to see the jet stream come really far south and bring a cold weekend. Now, it's not going to be as cold as what we saw early in January, but it will be a fairly chilly weekend, and we got to get through rain before we even get to that. Let's take a look outside right now across the campus of Troy University. What you're seeing is an exclusive view that you can only see here on Troy Trojan Vision, showing the cloud cover slowly beginning to increase across our area. The current conditions will reflect that. We have a few clouds out there, and a few is becoming more and more as the day goes on. 58 degrees is your current temperature, with winds coming out of the north-northeast at 8 miles an hour. We did manage to make it up to 60 today. So again, it's not too bad, but unfortunately that warm, mild weather is not going to stick around for a few more days, only just a couple more. No rain yet, but I can guarantee you that's going to change by tomorrow this time. State temperatures look like this. 50s are the popular average right now. We have 50 in Huntsville, down to 58 in Dothan and Troy. Regional radar shows that there was a little bit of rain trying to make its way into Alabama earlier. Again, the moisture is fairly limited at this point, so this little shower may bring a few spits and drizzles to the Troy area. But again, we're not going to see very many of that right now. What we are going to see is out here toward the west, this potent rain mass associated with a system, a low-pressure system that's going to bring a good chance of rain into our area. In fact, it could be quite a soaker. Now, the current surface picture shows, again, not much falling in the Alabama area, so most of that is probably in the form of virga that you saw in the Alabama area. But again, back in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas, that's where a lot of the rain is, and it's going to be coming this way, as you'll see in just a moment. Taking a broader look at the national surface picture, you can see it stretches back to change back into snow here in New Mexico and Arizona, around the Four Corners region. And another system is making its way onshore, bringing a little bit of disturbed weather to Washington and Oregon. But again, we don't see that much. And up in the northeast, they're seeing yet more snow showers as well. Now, here's the setup for tomorrow. What we're going to see is this low-pressure system slowly make its way toward the north and east. As it does so, we're going to see increasing chances of rain. This area here, pretty much centered around the southern half of Alabama, will be the area for heaviest rainfall. The good news with this system, it's not going to be continuously heavy rain, just continuous rain, so we're not going to see a major flash flooding threat like we saw in our previous significant rain event. And you can see the coldest air will also be further north than last time. So while some of the upper elevations like Gatlinburg may see a little bit of snow over the weekend, what they're going to see up here in the ground level more is pretty much Kentucky will see the snow, not the Carolinas and Tennessee like we saw before. I mentioned a good chance of some heavy rain, and again, while we don't expect flooding to be a threat, by the time it's all over, there could be some pretty good rain totals in the gauges out there, and you can see, especially in the southwestern quadrant of Alabama, that's where the heaviest will be. We also must note the potential for some breezy winds tomorrow. 15 to 30 mile an hour winds are possible, mainly again in the southern half of the state as we get closer to that low pressure system. Although northern Alabama doesn't escape the winds, 10 to 20 mile an hour winds as far north as parts of Huntsville. And again, you can see that most of Alabama will see good threat for some breezy conditions tomorrow. Now, cold air is definitely on the way as that system makes its way out. Pretty much that system will be moving along the jet stream, and we're going to see cold air really come back into our area, bringing the highs down into the 40s and 50s over the weekend with lows in the 20s and 30s. And even more than that, the long-range patterns are showing what is known as the Arctic oscillation could tilt negative. Basically what that means is a lot of Arctic air could head our way and bring us cold days looking into next week and times beyond that. But tonight we're only going to get down to a low of 40, 30% chance of rain mainly after 2 a.m. But by tomorrow the rain will be in effect most of the area with a high of 53 degrees, and it will also be quite breezy. Your Troy Trojan Vision 4-day forecast looks like this. Rain expected Thursday and Friday with highs in the 50s. Then the temperatures take a sharp dive downward. We're going to see highs only in the 40s on Saturday, and then barely making 50 on Sunday, even though the sun will come out by then. So Amber and Jessica, it looks like if you're not a fan of rain and you're not a fan of cold weather, you're really not going to like the next 4 days.
Oh, no.
Goodness, well, I'm definitely not a fan of cold weather or rain.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to be a fan the next 4 days then.
Thank you, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.